So in this video, I'm going to show you how I use the project portal on iNaturalist to curate the project and help my students with their observations and help try to make the project more of a success. So from the home page, if you click on projects, we can go to the Lhasa Biodiversity Survey. That's our class project. And one of the interesting things they have here is a leaderboard. It gives you some total stats on observations and users, and then gives you leaderboards for those students with the most observations, those who've made the most species, and then also information of which species were most commonly observed. Another interesting thing they show you is a map of the observations. Again, the map, when I created my project, I centered it on our school campus, and you can notice since we took many days and went around campus making observations that we do have lots of clusters of observations around campus. But then if you look outside of campus and the surrounding neighborhood, lots of students have made observations in the neighborhood around. But if you zoom out further afield, you can see that still most of the cluster is here in central LA near campus, but then you have this cluster of observations which is in Griffith Park. And we go out here, we can see there's a few over here in the Santa Monica Mountains on the beach. And then a little further south here at Palos Verdes is near where we took a field trip. So we do have another cluster of observations. But this is neat to use the map to find out where your students have been making their observations from. Okay, so when you look at all people, you click here, you see a list of students and the observations and the species they make. And then just give an example. We can click on a student and look at their observations. Okay, and just to look at one of this student's observations. Okay, good description. Okay, really good interaction with the community. Okay, so this, I can look at a student like this. I can see that they've got all of their observations, and I know that this is a student I can say good job and give some positive encouragement. But again, we're looking at multiple photos, measurements. This is a student who's doing a really good job of it, so I can look at this and know that this student's a student who's got it. Looking down here, notice we see, and here's something to pay attention to. This says there's only 5 observations. Okay, so I can click at this and see that this student has 5 observations that they've added to the project. Okay, now if we go to their observations, total observations, however, we're going to see that they have 10 observations, and that was the requirement for my project, that each student uploaded 10 observations. So looking at this, one of the issues that I would need to talk to this student about is that they have made 10 observations, but they've only added 5 to the project. So you can see the tutorial about how to add to the project to help the student, encourage them to do that. And if you look at, let's just choose one of these for example. Okay, this is fungi. Okay, and they've done fairly good job. They get a single picture, but I might tell this student to add maybe some more close-up details, because as far as this student and the community have been able to identify, it's just that this is a fungi. Also, I would say a problem with this student's work is their description is just kind of giving random information about fungi, when I'm really looking for some more descriptions of the fungus itself that they've observed in terms of measurement, in terms of qualitative characteristics like its color, its amount, immediate environment, nearby organisms, things like that. And again, these are the supplemental fields that when someone adds an observation to a project, it'll ask them to fill that out. Looking at some others that they have, let's see, we could look at this. Okay, and here we see a spider, but notice that this student has labeled it and identified it as an insect. So here's an opportunity to help with the identification. Again, this is just some general information about spiders. I'd ask them to give some more specific information, because you see that it's a very interesting pattern that they could have described and talked about where they found that. So what I would do here is that I could add an identification. Okay, and I know this is not an insect, it's a spider, so I could type in spiders. Okay, and then we know that it's not just the arachnid class, but it's the order of spiders. So clicking that shows this up. Okay, and then when I save the identification, okay, my ID comes up as spiders. Okay, and this goes out to the family identification. So they say insect, I say spiders, so it's gone out to the phylum level and it's identified it correctly as an arthropod. It's going to be up to the student now if they're going to insist that it's an insect or agree with my ID, and then that will be changed accordingly. That really depends on that student. So really, what I like to do is to again use the project portal as a whole to keep track of who is participating, where they're getting their observations from, what kinds of observations they have, and then any way that I can interact with them and give them advice and give them guidance to help make the project as a whole more of a success. Again, remembering that the goal of this project really is that the students have done a survey of the campus in the immediate area, and to hopefully be useful to some scientists or researchers or even just other hobbyists interested in what students could find living in and around their campus community.